What's up, guys? I go with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Ain't another fun fact.
Let's just say a certain fella do be ballin' when he be ballin'.
But with that being the case, this chapter, it's a teeny tiny bit crazy because it gets pretty glazy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Chapter 176, Howzer versus Ballin. There's one thing I do want to note right here at the start. And there's going to be one particular person who's going to get this because they're the ones who keep bringing it up, and I respect it because they're absolutely right, and I want them to keep bringing it up because it is a true point. There has yet to be a fully completed tournament in the Seven Deadly Sins duology. Never. And we're getting real close. We're getting real close to the point where I think almost every well, actually, no. Because the first Vizel Fighting Festival, it basically was completed. Because we were in the final round, right? We were doing Meliodas versus Diane. And that was the final round of that tournament. So technically, that one almost got completed. So we're way away from the final round of this tournament. And then the second Vizel Fighting Festival, did they even get through the first round? So maybe an average of means where you're like halfway through the tournament and then it stops. Because I'm trying to think. Because I know we had the Elizabeth and Elaine fight. We had the Bond and Mel fight against the Blue Demons. What other fights? Oh, we had the Gother and Escanor fight. Of course. And then what else? No, I think that was it because it was the Escanor and Gother fight that led into the attack and Commander jumping and killing Mel. So like, genuinely, we were real close the first time. I think we were pretty far the second time. So maybe this will be a middle ground. Maybe we'll get about halfway through. But regardless, it is a little concerning considering Nakaba Suzuki's tendencies. But there are still so many matchups left I think are interesting. I think are interesting and almost narratively necessary just for the sake of character that we're at least getting through the first round. Like I don't see us not making it through the first round. Mainly because we still have heavy hitters on the table. We still have Kion versus Tantris. We obviously still have Isol versus Tantris because we know Kion's gonna lose against Tantris. Then we do have Percy versus Diodora. That still needs to happen. Like there's still so many important high-level fights that need to happen for character interaction that I don't see Nakaba just pulling the blade out and just slicing the narrative arc down because there's still so much left. And even then, this chapter may introduce another motivation for an interesting final battle. You know what I'm talking about? Because a certain character is set up to make it all the way to the finals anyway, obviously because they're the main character, and another character is set up in this very chapter to just be built like that. Possibly even to build like that for a certain powerful Sunshine Sorcerer. So, we're in an interesting position. But let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right in chapter 176, Howzer versus Ballin. First things first, I do want to note this cute little cover page. You can tell that Howzer really liked this fit. He really likes it. This man never took off this fit. Because this is the same fit he wears, assuming Donnie and Edlin are like 10. Let's be real generous. He wore that same fit for 6 long years. And you can also see the starting of his beard coming in. Notably though, no mustache hair. Considering he turned into a stash man, I'm actually kind of shocked he doesn't have any, like, visible mustache hair here. Maybe he's a late grower. I get that. Look at my stash. It's not even really a stash. It's a line, which saddens me. But with it being the case, well, you know what? No, I'll save it because there's a later point in the chapter that makes me want to talk about like how many characters can we have in this manga that are traveling with our main group. It's getting kind of big again. Well, even it was always kind of big. But I feel like I'm talking way too sad. Let's hop into the chapter itself. We open up and we see that Howzer and Ballin are testing each other out. Neither starts using their magic. Neither starts doing anything too fancy. They just start swinging and banging and smacking sticks together. Stop it. I was not this sus in the live reaction, bro. What is happening? No. That live reaction is like 30 minutes, by the way. I did not realize how much I liked after that live reaction. You check it over on Patreon for those $1 a month. You can remember for those $3 a month. I was like crazy in that reaction. But with it being the case, they are smacking each other's sticks around. And notably, respect, I'll admit the torso looks kind of funny. Unless this looks like this is meant to be his butt. That is a real full swing. It looks like his upper body's on backwards, gosh darn it. But look at the health. Look at the build. Look at the beef on Howzer. That's a beefy boy right there. But nowhere near as beefy as our 6-pack ab flexing big ballin' boy Ballin, who is swinging around that hunk of metal like nothing else. And these two heavyweight hitters are swinging and clashing. And hey, I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I love me some good clashing. And I can't wait to see this animated, even though because I'm bad with that. I haven't watched a single episode of the Four Knights anime, and I was going to review it. Oh, I'm so bad. But with it being the case, we see the two clashing. And notably, neither is necessarily giving each other an inch. Both are serious and locked in. Howzer, focused up. Ballin, focused up. And we see they begin exchanging more and more rapid blows. And ultimately, it is Capital Knee who's like, whoa, golly gee willikers. Why are those men so thick? No, they do not. They do not say that. But essentially, Capital Knee is like, it's a heavyweight fight for the ages. How well can Howzer stand up against Big Ballin, the defending champion? And we see that Edlin... Oh, poor Edlin. Oh, poor Edlin. Edlin and the Donners, bro. They just can't win. This whole trio right here, the trio on the cover page, Edlin, Donners, and Howzer, they simply cannot win, bro. Because Howzer starts getting glazed. And as we know, whenever a human that's on our side gets glazed, they typically end up getting dipped viciously afterwards. As we see Edlin saying, don't be silly. No human can take on an ancient dragon, but he beat one single-handed. I think, generally speaking, this is most likely Edlin still speaking. I don't know why his text is highlighted in the Capital Knee text, though, like the text boxes. It may just be a mistake by Nagaba. I don't blame him. Work on a lot, do a lot. And plus, the art and the action is very, very good in the chapter, so I know this man was busy. But with it being the case, we see Ballin knock Howzer away, but Howzer takes a stagger in order to set up for his attack, like a solid FGC player, bro. I see it. He took the stagger, he took the damage, he took the block string, and now got to respond with his own. As he says, "Super Cyclone," as he stabs his lance into the ground, and everything starts blowing away, and the Super Cyclone does engage. Now, I'll admit, I'm kind of... It's gonna sound so disappointed, Father. I'm low-key disappointed in Howzer. Like, this man has had 18 years to... Well, you know what? Let's not do the 18. Mainly because, apparently... Well, no, not apparently. Obviously, we know Howzer. He wasn't, like, training for that full 18 years. He had his... I'm sad... I like the bottle phase. So, like, obviously he hasn't been training for that full time. But the fact that he, at least according to Nakaba, pre-time skip, and not talking pre-16 year or pre-18 year, I'm talking pre-2 year time skip, is apparently, you know, he's just weaker than Matrona. I hate to say it, bro. Howzer, you're mid. like, what do you mean? What do you, like, I remember first reading that. I read that Q&A, and I was like, there's genuinely no way on this good green earth. And speaking of things on this good green earth, have you drank your water today? Because I drank a little bit of it, but I didn't drink too much, so I'm going to take another sip right now. Luckily enough, delicioso. Drink your water. But with it being the case, Howzer being weaker than Matrona is crazy work. You wanna know why? Because Matrona is infinitely weaker than Gallon. Obviously not infinitely, not quantifiably infinitely. But like, Howzer having the same level of strength as Matrona in this economy, in this 4 Knights power crept to the moon and back economy. Don't get me wrong, the Super Cyclone looks real cool. Looks real neat. Looks real awesome. So it don't matter, bro. What do you mean you couldn't do any damage to a single unfused commandment who has no magic, dog? What do you mean? Howzer, what do you mean you still get frauderized by Fraudrin 18 years later? How? Okay, 16 years. Maybe you got massive amps with the 2 year time skip. But 16 years later, you would still get viciously dipped if Fraudrin were to appear, or anyone of his level, bro. It wasn't even an actual commandment. Howzer, you're in the trenches. You're in the trenches. But with it being the case, he activates Super Cyclone. And we see that Capital Knee declares, a fearsome tornado rages with Howzer in the center. Golly. And everyone suddenly realizes, hey, it's just like the Battle Royale that put him in the final event.
He's the one who did that?
Which is really, really cool. I do like that they all, like we're acknowledging that Howzer did have a massive, massive impact on the combatant pool by thinning the herd out a lot with Super Cyclone. And unfortunately, that may have left a few too strong of an individual here for him. Maybe though, we are far into the chapter. Maybe Howzer's just built like that. As we see, Dunn hits the Unk. Do it for the gains. Do it for the gains. Do it for the gains, Unk. And naturally, Howzer's like, I gotta do it for the gains, for my nephew, and proceeds to say, sorry, but I can't afford to lose in round 1. Now, there's the Knight Captain of Leonis. Now, I'll be honest, while this line is like cool, because he's hyping himself up, hyping up his connection, hyping up his kingdom, you are literally in the depths of enemy territory. Howzer, how on this good green earth am I... How are you going to just snitch? That's like giving out... In this time period, that's like giving out your phone... Well, it even work, mainly because like you're in an active conflict with the nation you are currently invading. And you're just wholly out here dropping your title? Sure, the rings guard you from hostile thoughts or anyone who would harbor... Well, no, it typically just guards and watches. It's like, I don't know what on earth Howzer was cooking here. This seems like just a real fool's decision to just randomly drop a BT dubs in the Night Captain Leonis. So if you capture me, Beltree, because I know you're probably listening, I'm a pretty big asset. You can probably remove me. But all that aside, obviously it's just for the cool factor. But speaking of the cool factor, Ballin hits the boom, and then the boom, and then the boom, and then the boom as he slices straight through the tornado, literally using his blade to tear it apart. And we see Howzer being like, whoa! Of all the things I was expecting, I sure wasn't expecting that. What the heck? And Donnie goes on to say, what? My uncle blew away the ancient dragon with that. What's going on? And we see Edlin and Donnie say, no way. And Ballin straight up sliced the tornado in half, bro. What even is ore farming anymore, bro? Is it over? Are we done? We are not done, bro. The ore farming will never end. But with that being the case, we see him slice straight through the tornado. And we see that someone pops up. Someone who I'm not gonna say I forgot about him, but like someone who I didn't think we were gonna get this soon. That guy could never beat him. Gareth! I know, because I fought him at the previous final. So, Gareth is showing up and dropping big lore. And here's the thing about big lore. We're gonna talk about whether or not Ballin is immune to anything later. Like, not here. But with that being the case, with Ballin being impervious to most forms of damage, I think it's reasonable to assume, or at least he'll be shown to be pretty much resistant or immune to most forms of damage. I think it's reasonable to assume that Gareth tried to use the soul. Well, you know what? I do not like when I get EP. And I don't know why. I did so good in live reaction. I don't know why I'm EP. So in honor of being EP, we're going to stand up. We're going to stand up and we're going to stand back. Can't be EP while standing. Hold on. Yeah. But essentially, Gareth likely used the Soul Blade on Ballin, but it didn't work. He still lost. I mean, that Ballin so far has shown resistance to wind magic, possible resistance to soul magic. Maybe you could argue Gareth didn't have his ability. Gareth didn't have his sword yet, but it seems like that came with him. So overall, Ballin do be Ballin and is quite broken already in the grand scheme of things, to be able to literally cut through tornadoes. Is this the craziest physical feat out there, especially in the Sevendeadlysins universe? No, but still, it is Howzer's magically fueled and created tornado, which is still very, very impressive. But of course, the main event is Gareth actually being here and being back, and the main event is me taking out the tip of this gosh darn water, lock it in, and record the rest of this gosh darn review, because sweet God have mercy, we are not that EB. we're locked in. We're talking about Gareth. He's here. He's active. He's alive, and he's moving. Now, obviously, we knew Gareth was not going to die, quote unquote. Percy very specifically said his life spirit hung on to his vessel. But still, very, very interesting to see Gareth up and at him so soon. Remember, while in universe it has been a little bit, that's the thing. In universe it's only been a little bit, while it's been a while for us. Gareth's fight was like maybe 30 minutes ago in universe? At max? At max? Because remember, we're still in round 1. So Gareth got knocked, and they had the soul ripped out of him, and Percy's treatment was very effective. And we don't know exactly what Percy's treatment did, because Gareth is feeling a certain type, obviously because Percy wants to get him out of the cauldron, but Gareth is feeling a certain type of way, if you get my drift. But with it being the case, we see that Capricorn once again begins the absolute like I mentioned at the start of this review, this chapter really is a we be glazing ball, and we be balling while glazing ballin', bruh, because Capricorn says, "This is the power of Ballin, the last winner, not a scratch after facing up to that storm." Now, obviously, there definitely is a thing here. An interesting thing and a possibility. There's one other possibility that I'll talk about in a little bit that I think is basically deconfirmed by the chapter, and I hope it's not the case because I don't want the scenario to be the scenario, even though what arguments I've seen for the scenario do make sense. But essentially, Ballin do be ballin', but is that because of a magical ability, such as, I don't know, the Demon King's power, which Zeldris once wielded, which made him immune to all magics? Or, I don't know, the ruler, which inverted all magics and their effects on him? Or is this just straight raw stats? Because Seven Deadly Sins is one of those universes where once you get to a certain point of power, once your stats are up to a point that are so high that no one can really do anything to you, not even your clothes will be harmed. But then again, I feel like we've seen clothes get harmed more often. But still, ultimately, who knows what Ballin's stuff is made out of and whether or not he's reinforcing it with his own magic. But essentially, all I'm saying is the level that Ballin's at may literally just be impervious solely because he has so much raw power. Kind of like how you wouldn't really expect beginning of series Mel to even damage King Mel or True Magic Mel or even post-resurrection Assault Mel. Like, you wouldn't imagine any of those Meliodases being able to damage or even remotely keep up with any of them. Even if you were to like split True Magic Mel or King Mel into like 6 separate clones, lower the power level a whole bunch, beginning of series Mel likely wouldn't be able to do any damage to him just because of the raw stat gap. So I wonder if that's here where Ballin's just like freakishly strong and needs to meet another freakishly strong opponent. Like, I don't know. Maybe a guy who is named kinda sorta after Howzer's weapon. You never know. But with that being the case, we see that Howzer, when seeing one of, at least in my opinion, one of his stronger attacks get essentially completely negated, he says, "Ha ha ha ha! Now we've got a real festival, huh?" And notably, this does bring I think it's the one smile out of Ballin this entire chapter. He sees that Howzer is actually willing to lock in and get crazy and get a little bit stupid with them, and Ballin seems all for it. He's like, "Yeah, go ahead, yeah, let's have a little real festival right now if you really bout that life." And of course, Howzer's really bout that life, as Donnie tells him, "Don't blow it, Unc!" And of course, he spoke. Oh, because he spoke. No. But with it being the case, we see that Howzer, he tried something devious. Wake up! You are not that sleepy. We had a good night's rest last night. Wake up! But with it being the case, he goes for a tandem whirl shock. He says, "Let's get a little more flashy then." Proceeds to pull back and then thrust the tandem whirl shock forward. And notably, we see Big Ballin glaring down at the attack that's coming for his cheeks, and it just slams straight into him, fit and all. That massive wind explosion is huge, maybe even stronger than his wind blast, or even, well, nowhere near any of his students. Whoa, rewind. Hey, it's rewind time. Hold on. I gotta do something to solidly awaken. What is happening? I don't know why I get so eepy. I just need to lock in. Think about it. What was I gonna say? But essentially, I do wonder what the AP differential is like. Like, the last one was a storm. This is a single shock of wind, or at least a couple shocks of wind. So I wonder how much that was. Maybe that was a 256? I don't know. But, and by 256, I mean very specifically, actually, I don't know what I mean. That's the thing. My brain said 256. It was a number that meant something. This is what happens when you record when tired. But do not record when tired. Do not record. If you have time to wake up early in the morning or do record before everything else, because then your thoughts will be coherent. At least right now, my brain is like fighting against me. It's like trying to shut down. But with that being the case, Howzer hits Ballin with the big wind ball blast, and then Howzer chills out after launching a tandem world shock. And we see that the crowd itself nearly gets cooked because Howzer uses so much power here, but Gawain is shocked to find that Ballin is like, oh, geez. Like this is just a regular 9-to-5 for him. As Howzer is though, and Percy says, no way! And Gareth says, yes way, which is hilarious. But with it being the case, we do get to see that Gareth, sorry, I can't get over Gareth saying, no way, yes way. Well, obviously he didn't say the no way, no way. But he says, yes way. I don't recall that man, ever seeing that man take any damage. The power behind his sword moves. His ability to gauge his opponent moves, foes, and skills. He's far too tricky, can't you see? And this, in combination with the later point, makes it so that it could be Lance. Ah! No, Lance, please, please. Hero character, I'm begging, let Ballin just be Ballin, bro. I'm telling you. Okay, I cannot hit my falsetto like I used to. But with it being the case, Gareth essentially views Ballin as indestructible, immortal, and basically unquestionable. You know what? We're moving it out of the way. And what we gonna do is we squat. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. I know I did. I feel so bad for people who are like, oh, I can't wait for Pencil to do a normal review of Four Knights. You're getting this. Slensel. Sleepy Pencil. Who's gonna make it through this review, whether his body likes it or not. Gosh darn it, I do declare. But with it being the case, Gareth says, if you had any weak point, and in Nasian's wait in anticipation, Nasian's because he may end up fighting, obviously he won't, but he may end up fighting, and just because she wants to know. And Donnie's like, you kind of stop, but brother, if he had any? And Gareth says, I don't know it. Which goes to show that, yeah, Ballin, he do just be Ballin, bro. He is of utmost power and ability, and so far, the last person who fought him and even reached the finals with him basically has no understanding, no way of actually, doing anything to him. But then, of course, Percy hears all this. Oh, I didn't even notice that fight detail scene, the little mini Percy here. But Percy hears all this, is like, oh, well, say, is this you trying to give me advice? And we see that, Percy, he be collecting them like infinity stones, dog. Like infinity stones. Because what did he do? What does he have Gareth talking about? You're the one who made all those promises. If we're going to leave this cauldron together, you kind of have to win for me. Look at the tsundere turn. Look at the tsundere turn. Hit the little... Wait. We're trying to go... You kind of have to win for me. Okay. I see you. We're going to sit back down, though. Because the squad was not doing it. It was leg day today. Not doing it. But with it being the case, we see that Percy's like, oh, shoot. I got another one for the roster. And then the other two in the roster are like, wait a minute. And we already know you're the main. Nonsense, you're the side. We have the room for another side. Percy, he just gonna keep pulling. We're gonna probably pull a different one with every single Camelot realm he opts to. But with that being the case, we do get... I was gonna make a joke about Jericho, but unfortunately, she may not be into Lance anymore. Okay, let me stop. Well, how old was the Lance from her vision? How old was he? I actually don't remember. Oh, Jericho, Nakama did you dirty. But with it being the case, Gareth is essentially confirmed to join the career. And this is what I wanted to talk about earlier. I mentioned how nice it is to see Edlin. It's nice to have Boris here. It's nice to have all these different characters here, how they show up. But the big question is, how big are we going to let the main squad get? Because, of course, the main squad's going to travel together. And right now, we don't have Tristan back. He's still currently Tantra, so he'll likely be back at the end of this arc. We don't have Lance yet, but who knows when he'll be back. But essentially, we were already running a 10-man band. And while Jade had rapid character development and rapid character writing that made me like him, I still feel like Nakama didn't really handle the Seven Deadly Sins group as a group all too much, because he kind of knew it'd be hard to write 7 characters at once. If Gareth does join, And not only that, but Gareth is also there watching over Gareth as per Gareth's magic. Then that would be the 4 knights, the 6 platoon members, or no, wait, I'm so stupid. I did the wrong numbers in the live reaction because Jade's dead. Whoops. Well, no, they were initially a 10-man band, essentially, because it was the 4, then the 3 and the 3, the percival platoon and the triple platoon, the 4 knights, then the 3 and the 3. Then we dropped down to 9. So we're going back up to 10, and then possibly 11 with Gareth. And then, if Ballin do be ballin' enough to roll around with the crew, as funny and out of place as he would look with this cast of crew, I think that could even be 12. 12 characters all at once, Doc? But you really want to handle all that? I don't know. It's a little bit interesting, a little bit crazy. It's why I don't think we're going to see Howzer after this arc. I don't think we're going to see Edlin after this arc. I even doubt seeing Boars after this arc. I feel like they're just going to go do some training because they were all incompetent. Well, not incompetent in Howzer's case. Howzer just got the worst magic he could. But essentially, I don't know. It's a very interesting spot. I mean, don't get me wrong. The more group, the better. I love me a good group dynamic, but I'm interested to see how Nakama handles it in the manga. But with it being the case, we see that Ballin lunges in. And very particularly, he goes for a low swing. He dives down deep into it. Once again, look at the choreography from Nakama, bro. I'm telling you, he can cook when he wants to. He goes in for the low swing. Swings. Howzer does react in time, and he does block it, but he underestimates Ballin's raw power and proceeds to get flipped in the air by the completion of the down swing into an upswing. And we see that Howzer's impressed and even a little bit scared by the sweat drops of all that power. And then he lands into a squat, which is really pretty impressive. My knees hurt just thinking about that. But we see he lands into a squat, focuses up a whirl shock, and launches it. But then Ballin launches himself into the air, completely unbothered. Because he knew it'd be I'm sorry, but completely unbothered as he launches into the air. And I know it's not that deep. But he hits the nuh-uh. I mean, he says it. He says it. No. No. There's a whole rabbit hole I went down the live reaction on that, so I won't go into that one again. But essentially, it's the nuh-uh. Your magic force is all just a trick. And we see Howzer declare, if it won't work on you, you can just taste this instead. You'll regret making that leap. But interesting. The interesting part, at least for me here, is Ballin saying that your magic force is all just a trick. That implies that he may not respect Howzer, but he was blocking his attacks. And that's just interesting. I wonder if that's like just a metaphor, like maybe I think who? Huh. No, your magic force is all trick. I don't want to put all my cards into the Demon King basket, but this seems so Demon King-esque. All your magic is just a trick, completely impervious to magical damage, and as we may find out soon later, physical damage. On top of that, he has... What did he have? What does he have? He has the design, he has the sword. Like, we're not even the design fully, but at least a design reminiscent of the Demon King that mostly wants me to make me believe that's the Demon King incarnate. But at the same time, I feel like that'd be too weird because Mel erased him. Like, in order for Camelot to be made, Mel had to erase the Demon King on both levels of reality. The Demon King had to be completely wiped out, removed from reality in its entirety. So the Demon King just respawning like this seems weird. Maybe his powers were once again though lifted and then given to someone specific because that's how he existed. I don't know. But with that being the case, we see that Beltrep has a certain flashback triggered by this entire encounter. Obviously, a flashback with none other than Big Ballin himself. And Beltrep naturally asks, I'm sorry, what? You seek neither to leave the cauldron, nor accept my award for winning. No, and I have no desire to serve as your lapdog either. If that... I just want to... Why? See, that's the thing. Whenever I get tired, my brain will just start replacing words with sentences and concepts that I'm not even remotely thinking of. But with it being the case, no, I do not have a desire to serve as your lapdog either. I just want to fight someone strong, someone to bring me to greater heights. And of course, Beltrep is like, you know, I could just ruin your day, and like your life and stuff like that. But we see that. Oh no, sorry, I leave that. That's the thing. I leave that. So let's do a quick cheek tap. Not those cheeks. As Beltreep says, you seek to shame me in public then. What if I told you I'd execute you right here? Once again, Beltreep is just shocked. He's kind of confused. And honestly, I'll admit, this is the first sign of like proper non-hallucinogen-induced weakness we've seen from Beltreep, where he's wondering in his own head, most likely, this guy a little too dangerous to control. Maybe it's a good thing he wants to stay, because I don't think I can force him back. But with it being the case, we see that Ballin is like, oh, you want smoke? You want smoke? Sure, I want a worthy opponent. I need a worthy opponent. I will get a worthy opponent eventually. But you can try and take my life. And then we see Ballin give pause and then laugh as he goes, I like your attitude. You truly are a battle incarnate. Please do anything, and I mean anything. Maybe not. well, no. Essentially, you are truly battle incarnate. If you ever change your mind, I will gladly hire you. Which is interesting. Once again, Beltreep does seem to find some sort of respect in insubordination if you not only have the willingness and respect to maintain it, but also if you have the power to back it up. And clearly, Beltreep doesn't actually seemingly want smoke with Ballin here. He's just like, okay, buddy, you'll be crawling back to me soon now. And Ballin went off for a whole year, as he admits, I have a feeling I'll fight someone a worthy foe before too long. Sometimes it's confidence that may alter one's whole life. And that is true. Or another alter. Wait, what? Fight that won't be worthy too long. Someone who may alter my whole life. Oh yeah. So essentially, he's looking for strong foes. He's Goku. He's Son Goku with the Garo haircut and the Demon King build. But it works solely because his opponents are these strange exceptions, these same rules, and obviously they have Lance. Lance is the big guy who I want to see fight Ballin. I think will fight Ballin because Ballin's essentially going to fall around the strongest. And when he's one of two, now just one. Ease your mind. I'll gladly hire you. What? No, fuck, I'm back. Oh, we were talking about Lance. Lance and his ability or inability to lock in. No, what was I talking about? No, Lance versus Ballin. Good fight. Ballin wants to fight like saying. There we go. That's it. Gosh darn it, body. Let's just make it. That's it. You know, I'm a lock in. Because Howzer loses, y'all. Well, he doesn't lose in this chapter, but he gets beaten pretty badly. Or at least he's about to be. As we see, Howzer... Interesting that this is a completely different sword design than what Ballin typically wields, though. Especially considering he was wielding the earlier katana earlier. Lord. But with it being the case, we see Howzer pierce the gut of his foe. If only it worked. Because we see that while being lifted up in the air and everyone clapping and cheering, Howzer's lance has skewed Ballin. We see Howzer declare, don't worry, let my friend here heal you shortly. And of course, what was that? Of course, Ballin is like, oh, how kind of you. And we see that Howzer's shocked to find that Ballin is perfectly fine. No issue at all. In fact, he grabs the blade or grabs the lance out of Howzer's hand and smacks him with it. As Gawain herself, one of the stronger characters here, questions, is he impervious to all kinds of attacks? Like I said, maybe a Demon King, Supreme Deity, Neville Baby, or Stole Their Powers or something, because this man seems unstoppable. But overall, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I hope you guys did a live reaction, and I want you to leave EP pencil. Just leave EP pencil, bro. I'm gonna straight take a nap. I don't want to stop recording. My body is fighting me. It's fighting me, and I'm losing. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That on the Pencil, writing off.